Snow feathered down from a sky the color of old lace, settling on the city like a hush. Lily Hart paused at the cafe window before going in, brushing flakes from her wool coat, steadying herself the way she always did before unfamiliar rooms. The glass vibrated faintly with music she couldn't hear, a low tremor that traveled up her fingertips when she touched the door. She inhaled the roasted warmth inside, coffee, sugar, cinnamon, and stepped in. The cafe was busy in that gentle end-of-day way. Couples leaned close over mugs, scarves draped like punctuation marks around their necks. A barista laughed behind the counter, the sound invisible to Lily, but clear in the crinkle of her eyes. She took it all in, cataloging movement and light, lips and hands, the subtle choreography of people speaking without signs. Her gaze went to the door first, then to the small table by the window she had chosen, earlier online because it gave her a clean sightline. Visibility mattered. It always had. Lily sat, slipped her gloves into her bag, and placed her phone screen up beside her cup. She had arrived early, also a habit. Time to her was something you prepared for, not something you chased. She checked the reflection in the spoon, smoothing her hair behind one ear. The blue of her sweater made her feel brave. Christmas made everything feel a little braver. The server approached with a smile and a practice question Lily read easily. She signed back, then spoke softly too, because she'd learned to put people at ease. "Tea, please. Honey, if you have it." The server nodded, eyes kind, and Lily felt that small relief of being understood without explanation. She watched the door. A man in a dark coat came in, shook snow from his shoulders, scanned the room. Her heart fluttered, then settled when he passed by. Another 10 minutes slid by on the clock above the counter. Lily traced the grain of the table with her finger, feeling the faint vibration of the piano again. Someone was playing carols, she guessed, because the room moved in a way it only did in December. Her phone buzzed once. Lily's breath caught. She picked it up quickly, then let it fall back to the table when she saw it was a group. Message from work, last minute. Schedule changes, nothing personal. She set the phone face down, embarrassed at herself for hoping so hard it showed. She had said yes to this blind date because it was Christmas, because her coworker had insisted, because the year had been long and quiet, and she was tired of spending holidays proving to herself that quiet could be enough. "He's kind, widowed, great with kids," the message had said. Lily had smiled at that, imagining a gentleness shaped by loss. A man who might understand what it meant to live between sounds and silences. 20 minutes late turned into 30. Lily watched the door anyway. She read the room again. The server's steps slowed near her table, concern blooming. Lily signed that she was fine. She was, mostly. Disappointment had a shape she knew well. It sat politely in her chest and waited to be acknowledged. She stood, slipping her coat on, the fabric whispering against her sweater. Maybe the date had changed his mind. Maybe he hadn't read the message about her being deaf and panicked. It happened. People thought kindness was the same as readiness. Lily reached for her bag. That was when the bell above the door jangled sharply, the vibration cutting clean through the cafe. Lily's head snapped up. 2 small figures tumbled in, cheeks red as ornaments, snow clinging to their boots. Twin girls, Lily clocked it instantly. The mirror symmetry of them, wearing matching red, scarves that swallowed their chins. Their laughter was silent to her, but unmistakable in the way their shoulders shook, in the bright spill of joy across their faces. They skidded to a stop just inside the door, breath puffing white. Behind them came a man, taller, older, hair damp with snow, arms full of mittens and a knit hat that kept slipping. He looked harried, apologetic, trying to wrangle the girls without dampening their momentum. Lily saw him glance around, eyes searching, then snag on her empty table, her half-finished tea. The girls followed his gaze. They stared at Lily with an intensity that made her laugh before she could stop herself. Children looked at the world as if everything were a question worth asking. One girl tugged the other's sleeve, whispering something Lily couldn't hear but could read on her lips. Her? They stepped closer, boots squeaking on the tile. Lily knelt instinctively, bringing herself down to their level, a reflex born of years of teaching, of wanting conversations to be eye to eye. The girl's eyes flicked to her hands, then to each other. They nodded. Together, they lifted their hands. The signs weren't perfect, too big, a little rushed, but Lily's breath left her in a soft, surprised laugh as recognition flooded her. The shapes were clear enough. The intention was unmistakable. "Our daddy needs you." Lily's hands hovered midair. Her heart hammered so hard she wondered if it showed in her throat. She looked up at the man, at his face draining of color as realization dawned. His mouth formed words she couldn't hear but knew well. I'm sorry. He shook his head, flustered, mortified, and tried to pull the girls back. Lily signed gently to the girls, steadying herself. Why? They lit up at being answered. Relief shone in them like a switched-on lamp. They signed over each other, eager and earnest, hands bumping as they rushed. He forgets to smile, one signed, her eyebrows pinched with concern. He misses our mom, the other added slower. Careful with the sign for mother, touching her cheek the way someone had taught her. We saw you waiting, they finished together, eyes flicking to the empty chair across from Lily. Lily swallowed. The room felt very still, as if the snow outside had crept in and wrapped them all in the same hush. She looked at Ethan. She knew his name now because she had read it on his face when he realized what his daughters had done. He signed clumsily, apologetically, each movement tentative. I was late. I didn't mean... He stopped, hands falling. Her phone buzzed again, insistent this time. Lily glanced down. A message from her coworker bloomed on the screen, guilt-heavy. I'm so sorry. He got stuck with the kids. Rain check? Lily closed her eyes for a heartbeat. When she opened them, the girls were watching her, hope perched on their shoulders like snow that hadn't yet fallen. Ethan waited too, not asking, not pushing, his worry written in the way he held his breath. Lily smiled, slow and real. She signed to the girls first, because they had started this, because they deserved the answer most. Maybe we all need each other. The girls grinned so wide, Lily felt it echo inside her chest. Ethan exhaled, a sound she couldn't hear, but could see in the release of his shoulders, in the way his mouth curved into something like gratitude. Outside, the snow pressed softly against the glass, and Lily thought that sometimes being stood up was just the wrong story trying to begin. They moved to a larger table near the window, the kind meant for families and celebrations, where chairs were scuffed from being pulled close again and again. Lily slid into her seat, setting her bag down, still half expecting the moment to dissolve like a dream interrupted. Ethan guided the girls into their chairs. Mouthing instructions, they obeyed only halfway. Too excited by the unexpected turn of the night, the server returned, eyebrows raised in a question Lily read easily. Lily signed and spoke at the same time, ordering 2 hot chocolates with extra marshmallows, 1 tea refill, and whatever Christmas cookies were left. The server smiled wider, glancing at the girls, and hurried off. The twins leaned toward Lily immediately, elbows on the table, chins in their hands, studying her face the way children do when they are trying to memorize someone. Lily felt the warmth of their attention settle around her, unfamiliar but welcome. One of them, Emma, as Lily would soon learn, signed carefully. Slower now, as if concentrating made the world behave. You understand us. Lily nodded, signing back smoothly. Yes, and you're doing very well. The compliment made them glow. The other twin, Ava, puffed up with pride and signed, Our teacher says practice makes brave. Lily laughed, the sound small but genuine, and repeated the sign for brave so they could see it clearly. Ethan watched the exchange with something like wonder, as if a door had opened in a wall he hadn't known how to touch. He rubbed his palms together once, then signed haltingly, his movements careful, apologetic. Thank you for staying. Lily tilted her head, considering him. She could see the fatigue in the way he stood, the kind that settled into people, who had learned to carry too much without complaint. She signed back gently. I was already here. He smiled at that, a little crooked, as if he wasn't used to being granted grace so easily. He pulled out a napkin and a pen, setting them between them like a bridge, just in case. Lily appreciated the thought. Effort mattered. The hot chocolates arrived crowned with ridiculous amounts of marshmallows. The girls squealed silently, clapping their hands, and immediately began negotiating trades. 1 marshmallow for 2 cookies, a sip in exchange for a promise. Lily watched, amused, the simple chaos of family life unfolding without performance. Ethan wrote on the napkin when the signs failed him. I was supposed to come alone. Babysitter canceled. I didn't want to cancel on you again. Lily read the words, then signed as she answered. You didn't cancel. He nodded, eyes softening. I've been late to a lot of things since my wife died. Sometimes I don't know how to arrive on time to my own life. The honesty landed between them, heavy but sincere. Lily didn't rush to fill the space. She knew better than most that silence could be kind. She signed slowly. Grief doesn't follow clocks. Emma and Ava had gone quiet, watching their father's hands, their faces serious now. Ava reached out and rested her mittened hand on Ethan's sleeve, a small anchoring touch. Lily felt something open in her chest at the sight. They talked the way people do when they are careful not to break something fragile. Ethan signed when he could, wrote when he couldn't, and mouthed words Lily read easily. Lily spoke softly sometimes too, her voice steady. choosing moments where sound felt right rather than obligatory. They shared small stories first, favorite cookies, the best Christmas lights in the neighborhood, how the twins insisted on decorating the tree, themselves every year, and always put the star on crooked. Outside, the snow slowed, flakes drifting lazily now. The city softened into a postcard. Inside, the cafe thinned out, chairs turning upside down on tables at the far end. The piano's vibration faded, replaced by the gentle hum of heaters and the quiet choreography of closing time. Emma slipped off her chair and disappeared into her coat pocket, emerging with a folded paper star, creased and worn at the edges. She placed it carefully in Lily's hand, solemn as a ceremony. Lily unfolded it slowly. Stay. The word was written in careful block letters, some lines darker than others where the pencil had pressed harder. Lily's throat tightened. She looked at Ethan, who stared at the star as if it had surprised him too, as if his daughters had reached into his chest and pulled out something he hadn't known how to ask for. Lily nodded once, then signed to Emma. I'm staying. The girl beamed and climbed back into her chair, satisfied, mission accomplished. Ava leaned over and whispered something in her sister's ear that made them both giggle. When it was time to leave, Coates went on slowly, reluctantly. Ethan stood, hesitated, then shrugged out of his own coat and held it out to Lily, immediately flushing when he realized what he'd done. He laughed at himself, rubbing the back of his neck, then signed, awkward but sincere. Tea next week, properly? Lily smiled, the kind that started behind her eyes. She signed back without hesitation. Yes. They stepped outside together, the cold, crisp, and bright snow crunching underfoot. The twins each took one of Lily's hands without asking, swinging their arms between them as they walked down the block. Lily let them, feeling the simple joy of it travel up her arms and settle somewhere deep. The night felt different now, full, expectant. Christmas lights blinked above them, silent but radiant, and Lily realized she hadn't been stood up at all. She had been led unexpectedly into a story that knew exactly when to arrive. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe for more soul-warming stories.